Wow. You should have sound now. That was a good opening, too. So I'll do it again. Just didn't turn the control board on. That's all that was. I assume I've corrected the problem. How did I begin? I said 10 o'clock, right on the schnoz. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday, the 26th of July, 2025. My name is Jack Willard, and we are glad to have you here. I was real happy with the open till I looked over after you said no sound and the control board was not on. So, are we okay with that? Are we okay with sound, Richard Lyon? Now we hear you, says the Grand Patriarch. Very good, very good. Yeah, you got to turn on the control board. You can have the mic pot up, but if you don't turn on the control board, you're not going to have it. It's the only thing I use this German control board for right now is that one potentiometer pot, we call it. In radio, we called it that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pots, and I only use one. If I were to use Spotify to my left, it comes up without it. I don't need it. Hi, Susan Carter. What's going on with you? Hi, Jack and family. And I was so happy with that open, too. Heather Feather is here with us today. Donna Starkey as well has a nice rose for us. Thank you. And getting old, says Richard. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? I had plenty of time, too, to set things up, get things ready, and the tabs. You got your tab ready to drink, Richard? Remember a tab? Try our Diet Cola. Trust us, it's lousy. And how are you, Donna? Good to have you here. Ms. Linda Justice as well is here as well. Hello from beautiful Orange Beach, Alabama. They have water. They have water. Teresa, Tezzy, Terry in Alabama. Well, it's a man-made lake then, right? How is Orange Beach? Is it big? Do they have fish in that lake? People go out on a boat in that lake? I've got a bevy of questions for you because I never associate Alabama with water, you know? I just don't. You remember Tab. Of course you do, Neo. I also remember Pepsi Free. That reminds me of that line, of course, in Back to the Future 2, when he says, give me something without sugar. Pepsi Free. He says, you want a Pepsi, you're going to have to pay for it. And why are you wearing that life preserver anyway? Yeah. Back when there were phone booths and phone books, they finally gave up on the phone books. I don't know how many years it's been now, but, you know, no one's going to advertise on a phone book and nobody's going to read. So eventually they realized everything was online. That's where you would do your advertising. Let's sing to the birthday girl. That's right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Teresa. Happy birthday to you. She's the big 1-9 today, she is. Wow. Hi, Fancy Nancy. What have you been up to there, huh? What did I post on Facebook this week? Something like my mind has been kind of quiet, which has me wondering, am I up to something that I don't want me to know about? Could be. Could be. Let's see here. Christina. Do I pronounce that T or don't I? Yeah, I've got the Hulk Hogan stuff. Rupert, right? Or do I not pronounce the T and you're kind of like French? R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. I remember watching him since I was a kid. I always wanted to meet him, but he never came into my town, the town that I live in. Funny that you should say that, because in the town of Walkill, which is just up the road on this very road that I live in, Hulk Hogan last February, maybe, came to Beer World, of all places. We got a lot of beer worlds around here. I don't care for the stuff. I never go in those stores. But the report was that Hulk Hogan was going to make an appearance there. And I thought about going, but I thought the line would be wrapping around and you'd never get to see him. And that's true, because he came and reportedly only stayed about an hour, then left. So I would have seen him, though, would have seen him from afar. But yeah, we'll be talking about Hulk tonight. We will. First, we're going to talk about a church visit, someone that went to see the Lord Jesus. Well, that's who he met. And he met the pastor, Bob Joyce, too. So we're going to do that in just a couple of minutes. In fact, 2 minutes away. We've talked about Ozzy in our Wednesday night show, but you can reflect as well, J-Cat. You can. We lost so many legends lately. And Boyd is here. Hi, Boyd. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Neo is trying to give me the correct dialogue from Back to the Future 2. So if you haven't signed in, let us know. We'd love to see you and talk to you and know where you are watching from. Let's get to that church visit from Calvin. Not Alvin, but Calvin. Gravois. Never thought of how I was going to pronounce that last name. There's 2 or 3 ways, and of course, I'll definitely pick the wrong one. I've seen me do it. I've seen me do it. Could be gray voice, Gravos, Gravos. Yeah. Hi, Calvin. Welcome. I hope you are getting to see this, if not live, in the replay. Hello, replay crowd. Glad to have you here. But since it's coming up on 10 minutes into the show, although the first minute or two nobody heard, that's not a good way to start either. People will say, oh, you can't hear them, and they'll tune me out. I may have to edit. Oh, the dreaded edit. Calvin said, hi, Jack. I've been watching you for a couple of months now and find your channel fascinating. Well, thank you, Calvin. My wife and I decided to drive to Hot Springs to celebrate 37 years of marriage. 37 years. We flirted with the idea of visiting Household of Faith during our visit. How could you not, Calvin? If we were going to go, we knew that we should get there early. You didn't. Not by today's standards. You were fortunate to get in. It must have been the will of the Lord that you get in. I've heard of people lining up at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah. When are they going to move to the new location? Anybody know? Have they updated that? I'm going to go to the church website tonight. We got to the church at 8:30 and found the parking lot full. Exactly. See, if you would have only talked to me first, I would have got you there earlier. Full of cars. They were parking down the road. That's how it goes there. The church was already full, so we stood along the wall. One of the church members came to us and asked where we were from. Another nice lady named Donna offered a couple of seats next to her, so we sat in the back. The whole service was amazing. We both left speechless, not really sure what had just happened. We knew that we were in the presence of something special. Bob Joyce is an amazing man with a great talent to sing and preach. I kept hearing that Jesus was coming back, but it was obvious to me that Jesus was already there. We were surely, we will surely visit the church again. Calvin and Tricia from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Louisiana. I'll say it right. Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Maybe they go to Jimmy Swaggart's church there in Baton Rouge. Now, the pastor, of course, is Donnie Swaggart. Donnie Swaggart will now be the pastor. Gabriel Swaggart will be the assistant, I assume. And they all kind of look like, Donnie looks like his dad. Gabriel looks like his dad, Donnie, and also looks like his grandfather, the late Jimmy Swaggart. And they all have the same kind of style, and they have that turning of the neck and everything. It's eerie. It's eerie. Donnie tends to wear very loud blue jackets on occasion. So that was good news there, because that's the reason to go to church, to meet Jesus, you know. No matter what reason you're going, it gives the Holy Spirit an opportunity to work. And that is proof of it. Of course, as Mark Lowry, I've been watching a little Mark Lowry from his Just Whenever broadcasts, which he does just whenever he feels the Spirit leading him. It's usually a sing-along, but he's been preaching a little more. Really, he would say he's not a preacher, just like I learned. He's a sharer, like me. He's a sharer. And he says you got to put, it's not just a matter of hearing the word. You got to be a doer. And that means there's got to be steps involved. There's got to be physical steps that you make if you want to see success in your Christian walk. Sunday is where you get charged up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm not singing the theme from Happy Days here, kind of determines whether or not you're real and you care about it or you don't. Whether anything really happened to you, whether it gave you a sense of purpose or what have you. And if you are one of those people that really puts purpose to your Christian walk, you'll be in the, it's not very large. It's it's not very large. 20% of the body of Christ. Can you call them the body of Christ if they're not in that 20%? Not my job to determine that. Way above my pay grade. But I'm talking to myself. And when Mark Lowry said those things, he said, I'm talking to myself too. He says, I like to drive. And I understood what he was talking about, because when he goes out and does his concerts and what have you, they drive him in a nice automobile to the concert. And that's where he's going to work, you know? So I understood where he was coming. But believe me, Mark Lowry, Lowry, be a real blessing if you follow him on Facebook and start to watch his broadcast. So, yeah. Thank you, Calvin, for the encouraging words. Let me check the email in general. We'll thank Elaine Peterson for hitting the Cash App already for $10. Thank you, Elaine. That helps me so much. I get more of it when you use Cash App over the thanks button, but I'm very happy and grateful to Google, YouTube for providing the thanks button. It helps. Trust me, it helps no matter which way you do it. My Cash App handle, just because Elaine hit it, is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY. The number is 56, lowercase Media Guy 56. So, what else is going on? We're going to talk in more detail about, see what, Neo sending me pictures of Ozzy and Malcolm Jamal Warner, who we lost on July 20th. He was snorkeling. Where was he? In Costa Rica, was it? Costa Rica, known for playing Theo, but a whole bunch of other stuff. I had no idea he was a working actor, um, all the way. Did a number of series and could have lived a charmed life, but he took a risky venture with his snorkeling. And you have to say, gee, I got a lot to lose here. You know, um, I was going to tell this story Wednesday night and never got to it. And I've got notes to myself. Get to the main topics early, finish story if distracted, and don't do a story if you can't remember names. That's what I wrote there. All right. So I don't seem like a numbskull. And I know that sometimes I don't finish a story. So I got to remember it's not enough just to write it down. I got to look down on it during the show, look right at it there. Hey, Blue Sky Suns, thanks for hitting the thanks button for $9.99. Is that a peacock, or is that some kind of other bird? Ostrich? No, it's not an ostrich. It's a very nice bird, and is he moving? I think he's boogalooing. He's shaking his tail feathers and he's shaking his long neck. Not a swan. No, not that long. $9.99. Thank you very much. Hi, Robin Roman. Hi, Jack and family. Happy birthday, Teresa. I hope you are still enjoying your family, catching some great fish right now in Littleton, Colorado. Oh, that's you doing that? Beautiful day, Littleton, Colorado. You're high up there. High up there. Don't get a nosebleed. Justin Battinger. Hello, Jack. Hi. Richard Lyon is talking to Jupiter. Jupiter, are you from Jupiter? No, he's in another realm, Richard. He's in another realm. It's kind of like a parallel universe, you know? It's the same people that are in this time of 2025. Same people, but they made different choices, see? So say in this realm, they're a doctor. Well, in the realm that Jupiter has entered, um, I won't say through the I Ching. I'm tempted to because I'm just repeating a Dark Shadow storyline. In this realm, they made other choices. So the person who was a doctor could be a waiter in this other realm, say. It's all about the choices we make or we don't make, you know? Did we get in our way? Did we let fear stop our potential? Did we give in to self-fulfilling prophecies, as I have a number of times? Nancy, and in memoriam, Terry Whitmore is here. Why don't I make it easier on my eyes? Make it easier on my eyes. I do like that watermelon bag. I do. Let's see here. Nancy and in memoriam Terry Whitmore. It's my Walmart readers here. Hello, Jack. Blue Sky. I don't get the super sticker. It's all just donating to the channel, Jack. I don't know how to impose a sticker. That probably wouldn't surprise you, right? Did I send you the Hulk Hogan one? I don't think so, Neo. I don't think you did. I might use it, but it's always, it's not going to get what the big guy gets. The big guy here is Pastor Bob Joyce, so I have to think about that too. But I will show your sticker. I will. I'll have to take a picture of it, won't I? Let's see. Jack, how is Karen's back doing? It's interesting you say back because she does have lower back problems because the pain travels down. The surgery, okay, I'm going to tell the Karen update now. The Karen update, and then we'll get the Hulk Hogan, okay? And we got plenty more to talk about tonight, so don't go anywhere, boys and girls, including you, Richard. Put down that martini. You know it makes you sleepy after a while. Karen's surgery. She got emails today from Aetna, Aetna, whatever. Aetna Medicare Advantage Plan. And first she thought they were saying the surgery was denied, you know. Then she thought, as she tried to read through this, like you need this stuff, that the surgery itself would be approved, but they weren't going to cover the rods, the screws, and the fusion. What? Are we telling a doctor now how to operate? You know, and what would that mean? It's like that's the foundation to holding up the disc and to maybe making this more successful than the time they put a small disc in her back at New Jersey Brain and Spine. This is over at Westchester Medical Center. So then she reads a little bit more, and it looks like they asked for more information and nobody replied to them at the Westchesters. That's what she thinks it seems to be saying now. Okay. Nothing you can do on a Saturday. Nothing you can do. So, okay, then a little while later, another email comes from Aetna. And this one seems to be basically saying that, wait a minute now, the rods and the screws and the fusion are going to be covered. And first they said they'd only give her 1 day in the hospital. That's all they would approve. This is how did we ever let this happen? They don't know how she's going to respond in surgery. I understand that they would put in at the hospital for more and state the reasons, but what are we talking about here? All of a sudden, I think the doctor indicated, or his staff indicated, 2 days, maybe 2 days. All of a sudden they said, well, we'll approve 5 days in the hospital. But see, that is a false satisfaction, because there's a deductible for those days. So I think it's $300. So multiply that. And, as soon as she's out of the hospital, the bills will start from Westchester, expecting you to pay it in full. They have payment programs, but they always try to get you to pay more than you can really afford. And, they don't like it if you say, I'm paying $50 a month and that's all I'm going to do. But, what are you supposed to do? Not everybody's rich and what have you. So then it looked like they were talking about she had been told when we went there on Thursday that they had a lot of like a 6-hour space for her surgery. Like she could be on the table for 6 hours. And it seemed like in this new paperwork, they were saying how long they felt it should take. How long they felt it should take. So who knows when all is said and done. So if you go buy a car, they say, this is what it's going to cost you. This is your down payment. This is how much a month. Sign right here that you agree to be responsible for this. But that's not like that with surgery. It's like you throw 52 cards up into the air, even with health insurance, especially if it's a Medicare Advantage plan, for example. Throw 52 cards up in the air, and they will come raining down when they feel like it. And then you're expected to, you sign right here. And this is madness. It's madness. It's no big deal if your name is Jim Carrey or something. You just hand over the Visa Gold card and that's taken care of. But for goodness sakes, Richard, for goodness sakes, have you run into these kind of things? See, I don't have the Medicare Advantage plan. Almost had the Aetna Medicare Advantage plan, but the city of New York, retirees or whatever, it certainly wasn't the Teamsters 237. They were going to go along with it all. Greg and the gang, Greg Floyd. But somebody filed a suit saying, no, we don't want a Medicare Advantage plan. We want to stick with the stellar insurance we have now. And and it came time for the hearing, and Aetna was there, ready to present all their, their how great they are and the reasons that it would be good. But the judge was looking at all the differences and the higher copays and the you got to be pre-approved for everything. And he said, no, this is not the time. This is not the time for the retirees to to uh, to lose their what they have. This is, not Larry's Insurance and Grill. This is the City of New York retirement plan, and they don't deserve that. And Aetna raised their hand and said, "Could we speak?" And he said, "No, no, I don't need to hear from you." I'd love to have that on tape. We don't need to hear from you. Go on, get. That's what you want to hear. So that's that story. It looks good. First, we thought it wasn't good. It's scheduled for the 15th of August, 5 a.m. We got to be there. Ladies and gentlemen, you ever try to sleep in one of those chairs? They don't make them high back or anything in the surgical area. So then you got to think, do I go out to my car? I have a pillow out there in the parking lot. They'll probably leave me alone. And then you start to thinking, I feels too far away from Karen, even though it will be hours before I could see her. I don't want to be that far away. But then I say, well, I'd only be out there for a little nap, most likely. That would refresh me. So who knows what I'll do? Who knows? At some point I'm going to have to drive home, and I can't drive home with zero sleep, because if I got to be there at 5 a.m., zero sleep. I go to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning. I can't go to bed at 9 o'clock at night like some people do and wake up at 2:30 and, hey, I've gotten some sleep. But I can try the day before to get some extra sleep during the day and what have you. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, you know. So that's the update. She's got neck issues, and they're going to put a disc in there, a larger disc, and what have you. And she's got stenosis and fibromyalgia, and et cetera, et cetera. Richard Lyon, I was born under the sign of Jupiter, so kinda ish. Oh, okay. Richard acts like he understands that. Carla's back saying hello to Brenda. Hello, Jack, says Carla and everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I missed a couple of shows, but it's good to be here. Praise God for another day and enjoying the Sabbath. So you are either Jewish or Seventh-day Adventist, probably. There's other things that you could be, but those are the top two. And many people, there are people that feel Saturday is the day. Catholics hold the vigil for Sunday on Saturday. In other words, they have an evening mass on Saturday about 5:30. So there you go. I'll get Vinny the Chin to keep you up, or else keep me up. I want to sleep at some point. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to sleep. We're going to be leaving here like at 3:30ish in the morning. Traffic will be light. That's one good plus. And Karen hopefully will get a little sleep. She says she'll get her sleep when she's under, from the milk. The milk. Darlene Koberstein, hi Jack and all. Hello, Darlene. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? What's the update there? Jackie Oregon, happy birthday, Teresa, Tessie, Terry. Richard is giving medical advice now. He is, not everybody knows this, but he is Dr. Richard Lyon. He's a proctologist. Very, very good. Well, here's Cajun Calvin. Thanks for reading my letter. You're very welcome. Cajun Calvin from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It took us a little while, but we finally got to it. And maybe by next time you go back, the new church will be open. Let me go to bobjoyce.org. It's still the lead story on the front page is Bob Joyce in Coleman, Alabama, Friday, October 10th, 2025. Pastor Bob Joyce will be in Coleman, Alabama uh, at 6 p.m. for dinner and a concert. Um, the location is the Stonebridge Farms, and tickets are now on sale. They give you the link right on the front page of bobjoyce.org for stonebridgeweddings.com/Bob Joyce concert. And you'll be able to see the various. This is a ticketed event, ladies and gentlemen. Ticketed event. And it's just billed as Bob Joyce dinner and concert. We went through this on Wednesday, but I know not everybody saw that. Bob Joyce is a respected pastor and gifted gospel music leader based in Benton, Arkansas, where he serves at Household of Faith, known for his powerful voice and heartfelt worship. Bob has released acclaimed gospel music, such as the album Safely Home, and leads engaging worship services that resonate deeply with audiences. We are thrilled to welcome him to Stonebridge Farms on Friday, October 10th. 2025 for an evening of uplifting gospel music and community. And there are various ticket levels. For general admission, $65. Reserve ticket, which is will get you just a little bit closer to the stage, supposedly good views of the stage from all areas. Reserve tickets are $150. VIP tickets, $225. You'll be sitting at a table with other guests. The VIP table for 8 people, $2,000. $2,000 for 8 people. Now, I'm not seeing exactly what I saw before. But if you get a VIP ticket or a VIP table, you are then eligible for a 5 p.m. meet and greet. First of all, you'll have dinner at 4 o'clock, where everyone else is either 4:30 or 5. You'll have dinner at 4 o'clock, and then at 5 p.m., you'll be ushered backstage to meet the pastor, and he'll have a picture to sign for you, a CD, tote bag. There'll be merch that'll be available right there. I imagine there'll be merch in the back, too, at the end of the concert, I assume. And that's what a VIP ticket of $225 gets you, or if you're at the VIP table, which will cost your group of 8, $2,000. So that's how that goes. So general admission, we don't get to meet the pastor? I don't think so. Doors open at 4, VIP dinner at 4, reserved dinner at 4:30. They also will get, so the tables will get to meet the pastor first. Reserved, the VIP, let's see, the VIP dinner, yeah, you'll probably meet them all at the same time if you're in that group. Reserved dinner is at 4:30 dinner with no meet and greet, I don't believe, and general dinner is at 5 p.m. with no meet and greet. So there'll be opening musicians at 6:30. At 6:30, and that's how it's going to go in Coleman, Alabama. So you can, when you press the link that's on the front page of bobjoyce.org, you can purchase your tickets that some of you already have. Some of you already have here. It's going to sell out, gang. It's just going to do it. It's going to sell out. So don't be disappointed. Obviously, general admission tickets may go first, and then you won't have that choice, So if you're at all wanting to do this, go to Stonebridge. You go back one here. Yeah, there it is right there. Got so many tabs open. Just going to have to go to the Stonebridge Farms website, and you can find that at bobjoyce.org. Okay. So that's the update on that. There's a little more information that's coming on that, which I will do in a separate pre-recorded video, but nothing that you really need to worry about before ordering tickets. So, I'm going to do Hulk Hogan just a little bit. Just a little bit. Good night, Brenda. We'll pray for Brenda. God bless Brenda, who's got so many issues, especially with these kidney stones and other things. Just looking at your comments. Are you going, Elaine? I agree. So am I. Is that what that means? See, I got to get past this surgery. I mean, Karen could need me for, 3 months after it, 3 months before she's probably completely off the snuff. So I can't make any of these plans ahead, just don't know. Just don't know. Hey, Jack, I got some interesting to share with you. My friend just sent me a picture of Elvis's twin granddaughters, and standing behind them is a guy that looks like Bob Joyce. It's either Elvis or Bob. You can send that in the email if you want. Richard is chastising Blue. Calvin, my wife and I are going to Coleman's. We bought reserved seating last night. See, they are going. Those of you, there'll be a group of people that say, it's too expensive. 65 is not too expensive. It's just wonderful that he's doing his first concert and under the name Bob Joyce. This makes me think that those who feel that he gospel and that's all it's going to be, I don't know about that. It's okay if he does a pop song, it's okay. He's done it in the church, hasn't he? He sang Can't Help Falling in Love with You. And the Wonder of You. The Wonder of You, one of my favorites. Yeah, baby. So, he's not bound to just doing that. He's not bound to just doing that. He'll do what he's led to do, and it's not out of the realm that he could sing a pop song there. So you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. Is this going to be a big announcement in Coleman, Alabama? No. No, I don't think so. Richard is always threatening Vinny the Chin. I think maybe he works for Westchester Medical Center if you don't pay your bills, Jackie Wurlitzer Oregon has joined us. I'm not saying I wouldn't go to the church. Who knows how how the seating's going to be over there after a while. 300 seats. So why aren't we open? Why is it now coming to the end of July? And originally they did say August. And I thought, what? And then everything's coming together. And now it's been a month of the church sitting there, and I realized there's last minute things, and there's that anticipation and what have you, and you can always come up with another reason why you're not quite ready, and what have you, and I'm not there, so obviously I don't know the skinny as anybody. I know there are people from the church that watch me, that watch us right here. So if you want to come on and call yourself Boris Bad Enough or Natasha, you can do that and tell us some of the inside of what's going on, why the delay at this point. It's been a while. Any additions being made to whether it be a tent or a prefab overflow room or something like that? Anything going on we don't know about? Spill your guts, will you? Spill your guts. Jack, will you ever visit Pastor Bob Joyce's church? Yeah, if the Lord allows me and he spares me after Karen is back in, because I can tie it to seeing my son, see, and that's really important. That's really important, but it also means driving, and I'm not thrilled about that. There are certain places I don't mind driving, although with Generation XYZ out there, you know, you take your life in your hands. But that's why you pray for travel mercies. God's always been good to me with the travel mercies, I must say. So, yeah, I would like to. I would like to. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I just have a feeling that this church, I was told by an inside source right away that they know that they're not really solving any problems with 300 seats. And so obviously they would have to have a fully staffed professional construction crew to ever build that sanctuary in Hot Springs, or it would take them years. They don't have years. I mean, come on now. Jesus may be coming back much sooner than years. So they don't have that time. They'd have to go to Hot Springs, as I like to say, or some vacant department store in downtown Benton or something. I don't know. There are other alternatives. There are alternatives while the other church is being built. Probably a house should be built on the property further back as well. It's 9 acres of land. That's a lot. That's a lot. Carla, birthday heart. That must be for Teresa, the birthday girl, who's the big 1-9 today. So, I just can't do it now, Blue Sky Sons. I just can't. Huh. It's going back down here. I understand, Richard. I do want to see him as long as I would be permitted to go. I'd throw all my heart into worshiping the Lord, and then if I got to, well, he comes in first. We'll see how it goes, what his reaction would be, and what have you. I do not know. I have been invited by several people there, 2 in the inner circle. Sort of one definitely in the inner circle, and one's pretty much in the inner circle. Yeah, I'll qualify it as inner circle. Hey, here's Todd Bradshaw, the Tennessee Titan. Hello, hello, hello. Hi there, Todd Bradshaw. He says hello to Jackie Wurlitzer, Oregon. Oh, there you are, Todd, up there. Good evening, Jack. Hello, all. Hope everyone is well. I'm doing better than I deserve. That's all I know. That's all I know. I wish Pastor Bob would visit the West Coast. Yeah. Well, Alabama is a start. We'll see. We'll see what else happens in terms of a concert. Um, Heather, maybe they have to wait for an inspector or fire marshal to sign off on them to begin this begin services. Yeah, well, that could be. Melissa VD, I imagine you'll have the best time, Rhonda. Melissa also says it was absolutely worth visiting the church. I hope I can go back someday soonish. Soonish. Well, he's not young, Jack. I thought he was 74 years old, Richard. That's not young. I mean, that's not old. Oh, that's the other one. That's the other one. I see. And Rhonda Wolf hits the thanks button for $5. Thank you, Rhonda Wolf. Thanks button right down there. That helps us. We're working on August 21st now. After August 15th, it'll be play it by ear. There'll be definitely more pop-ons from the other side of this house. I don't know. Andy with his headphones on is not helpful. Andy can be very helpful, don't get me wrong, but if he's wearing headphones, not a good thing. So thank you, Rhonda, for hitting the thanks button so far. And thank you, Blue Sky Suns, $9.99 from Blue Sky Suns. Thank you very, very much. Really helps us. We're down from certainly a few months ago, and trying to catch up to where we were in this time last year in terms of the general mix number. But the cash apps, they don't count in the mix. The thanks button donations do count in the mix. The cash apps are like an extra bonus. People that hit the cash app, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. Hello, Joey Bauer Jr. Hey, brother. Jack, always love seeing you. I agree that Pastor Bob will visit the West Coast. I guess so. 15 years driving, says Richard Lyon. I've been driving since 1972. 1972 with my 66 powder blue Plymouth Valiant with was a standard with a shift in the column. Oh, that was ecstasy the first time I got in that car. Yeah, I had that for quite a while. 15 hours, more than that from here, Richard Lyon. Well, 16, something like that. Yeah, I got to remember it's I guess you're in the realm. You're in the realm of it. But Tessie is here. Tess J. She's from Liverpool. So we say. Yeah, I mean, I would love to, Richard. When the time comes, you need to pick me up and promise me that you are completely, you have all your faculties. That can mean a lot of different things. That can mean a whole lot of different things. Hulk Hogan, total icon that we lost this week. Terry Jean Bollea, how do you say it? Bollea, August 11th, 1953. And he died on the 24th of July. Cardiac arrest at 2025. They say steroids, which he did for many years. I don't know if he was still doing them, can cause sudden cardiac arrest. He should have had a defibrillator in his chest like I have, see? He could have just said, look, I want this. I'm willing to pay for it. Give it to me. I don't think he had one. if he had a pacemaker or what have you. Not enough to have a pacemaker, really. You want something to do something about it if time is of the essence. It's like walking around with a paramedic in my chest, I feel. His name is Gary, by the way. He's best known by his ring name, Hulk Hogan. He was an American professional wrestler. He was best known for his work with the World Wrestling Federation, the WWF, now the WWE, and the World Championship Wrestling, the WCW, known for his flamboyance, massive physique, and his trademark blonde horseshoe mustache and what? Bandanas. Oh, yeah, his bandanas. Hogan was widely regarded as the most recognized wrestling star worldwide ever. Hogan began his professional over Andre. Hogan began his professional wrestling career in 77, but gained worldwide recognition after signing with the WWF in December 1983. There, his persona as a heroic All-American helped usher in the 1980s professional wrestling boom, where he headlined 8 of the first 9 editions. Hogan was a regular headliner on Saturday Night's main event and its spin-off, The Main Event. During his initial run, he was a 5-time WWF champion, with his 1,474-day reign being recognized by WWE as the 3rd longest in the history of the title. He was the first wrestler to win consecutive Royal Rumble matches, winning in 1990 and 91. In 93, Hogan departed the WWF to pursue a career in film and television. He returned to wrestling with rival promotion WCW. In 94, he won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship 6 times and holds the record for the longest reign. In 96, he underwent a career renaissance upon adapting the villainous persona of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I remember that, leading the popular New World Order stable. As a result, he became a major figure during the Monday Night War, another boom of mainstream professional wrestling. He headlined WCW's annual flagship event, Starrcade, 3 times, 94, 96, 97, in which the 97 edition was the most profitable WCW pay-per-view in the company's history. And it goes on and on and on. He's just got such a long bio here. Hulkamania. Yes, 1983, 1984. After purchasing the company from his father in 82, Vince McMahon had plans to expand the territory into a nationwide promotion, and he handpicked Hogan to be the company's showpiece attraction due to his charisma and name recognition. He had Riz. That's what they say now. He had Riz. Hogan made his return at a television taping in St. Louis, December 27th, 83, defeating Bill Dixon. And it goes on and on and on. So when President Trump announced that he was going to run for the presidency again, Hulk Hogan said something that was very uncharacteristic. He said, I was a bit afraid. I was a bit afraid to come out publicly for him, was what that could mean to future opportunities. But Hulk Hogan says, the day I sat watching him in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I saw him take a bullet for the United States of America, I said, the hell with being in the closet here. I'm all in. And that started Hulk Hogan being one of the biggest proponents of Donald Trump there has ever been. And he would go anywhere and do anything for him, flipping the bird to those that had any problem with him being a proud Trump fans supporter. So we saw him at Madison Square Garden as he had been so many times. That was the last time he'd ever be there at Madison Square Garden at the Trump rally. And just was a wonderful, wonderful man. He had his trouble back in the days and, with marriage and what have you, but he rose and he became his best self, I believe, in his later years. Wrestling will never be the same, says Robin Roman. That's true. I find it strange that Hulk was promoting a new beer product, then suddenly he's gone. And he did come down to Beer World. If I didn't finish that story, about 2 miles down the road from me, but he was only there for like an hour. So I would have never really got to, talk to him, but still should have went. I don't see the connection, but you're probably more of a conspiracy theorist than me. I always remember his Slim Jim commercials. Really? He did Slim Jim? If I saw one now, it would come back to me probably because I don't remember that. But just a master showman. He was the best as the bad guy, says Grand Patriarch Richard in the NWO. Those were the days, my friend. I thought they'd never end. See, if you say those were the days, I have to follow it by saying, we thought they'd never end. It's just some things. It's like, Karen has a friend whose nickname is Mopsy, and I always have to rhyme that every time she says it. Oh, you mean Mopsy, who lost her? I do it every time. I don't know what's wrong with me, Tessie. I guess I need a checkup from the neck up. He had neck surgery. That's true. Yeah. And it didn't go well. That's true. They sent him home to die. I had heard that. My friend Robert was talking about that. Yeah, that is true. That's not something I really want to hear right now, Daniel Sadler, hi Jack. It's Daniel from North Carolina. I look so forward to your ramblings. Yes, ramblings they are. It's like stories. I've heard about how people used to gather around a radio for the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah, they still broadcast that on the radio, but on the telly too now. And always like to tell the story that Jimmy Sturr, who started to appear on the Nashville network, TNN, it no longer exists. What's the gentleman's name there? Ralph Emery, right? Right. It says here, don't do a story if you can't remember the names. I just violated that. But it came to me. There's hope for my brain yet, Richard, no matter what you say. No matter what you say. But Jimmy got invited on there because he had recorded with several country artists, including one of my favorites, Mel Tillis. Mel did a bunch of songs with Jimmy Sturr, and there were others as well. And then he had a few rock and rollers like Frankie Ford. Frankie Ford turned Sea Cruise into a polka with help from the Jimmy Sturr Orchestra, of course. Great. It's just great. And eventually Willie Nelson. And that's when once the Grand Ole Opry saw Willie Nelson and Jimmy Sturr on the same show and Willie singing with the Jimmy Sturr Orchestra, that's when Jimmy solidified his position to be invited to play the Grand Ole Opry, being the first group that had brass in it that had ever been invited to the Grand Ole Opry. So they called Jimmy up and they said, Jimmy, we'd just love to have you come. Love to have you come here for the Saturday night Grand Ole Opry. And if you want, bring Willie. Well, Jimmy knew what that was about because a while back, the Grand Ole Opry and Willie had a falling out, and the Willie hadn't been on the Grand Ole Opry in years, So Jimmy talked to Willie about it, and he said, "Well, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time." So sure enough, Willie Nelson came out during the Jimmy Sturr set at the Grand Ole Opry. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Tessie, you're saying Jack. What? What have I done now, Tessie? You can't say Jack and assume that if I've said something naughty or something weird, that I'm going to know what you just, you got to give me more than that. Because I'm talking. If you haven't noticed, Tess, I reach speeds of 180 miles an hour sometimes. So, oh, you talk so fast, like one of those rock and roll DJs from back in the day. Richard knows about this. Richard, did you listen to 99X back in the day? Did you, Richard Lyon? Steve Smoking Weed. That guy talked 100 miles an hour. Steve Weed, he, of course, called himself Steve Smoking Weed. And then we had, we had some great ones on CKLW. And I don't really go back as far as the WMCA good guys. They're a Christian radio station now, WMCA. But I do talk fast. Hogan, he had a mask on. What? Did he wear a mask sometimes? Well, look at that. Sam Semi is here. Sam Semi hitting the thanks button for $13.99. Thank you so much, Sammy. He's an Elvis man. He is. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that very, very much. And by the way, if you have 99 cents for the thanks button, it's very much appreciated as well. No amount is too small or too large, especially as I go into this time with Karen, and I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to be up here. I don't know. It's just it's unknown, it's unknown. But that first month is, tricky. And yes, let's remember the late, great icon after icon. Don't tell me that Chuck Mangione, or if you so like, Chuck Mangione, was not an icon. He certainly was. He certainly was in his field. So, yeah. And another very, back before CNN annunciate, Mr. Announcer, somebody taking my Sammy. Before CNN became the communist news network, they used to have credibility and people actually loved them. And even people like, Anderson Cooper, were watched by Republicans until they let Donald Trump destroy their reputations. He destroyed just about everybody on CNN. There's a couple of hang-ons. Obviously, they have a few conservative speakers that get lambasted 3 ways to Sunday. Some never had credibility. Now they got all these political opinion people that you've never heard of because they couldn't afford the other ones. They got rid of the other ones. So it's really horrible now. But before CNN dove into the toilet, there were some really great speakers and political, John King, before he took the Trump poison and then started to badmouth everything Trump does. There were some beloved people on CNN and some reasonable commentators like David Gergen. David Gergen was a professor, I believe, at Cambridge in Massachusetts. He was a great commentator. Hadn't seen him in recent times, but he did pass away in his 80s. And so kudos to David Gergen for bringing class to CNN before they took a trip straight down into the sewer. So now they have more staff than they have viewers. Was it worth it? Who runs these places? Is it Comcast? No, right? Who runs these places? This is another one. Richard, why would you say we're getting rid of Stephen Colbert, but not till next May. It looks like he's trying to get himself fired now. There's a no compete clause, so he wouldn't be able to go back on till May. They'd sue the pants off of him, but no, it's who's gonna be wanting him? MSNBC would. There's one, you know, they have no ratings, so there you go. So they might put Stephen Colbert on. The funny thing is that before he let Donald Trump destroy his ability to be funny, destroy his talk show, and pretty much make a mockery of this Christian faith that he claims to pronounce. Um, he was very funny on Comedy Central. He was making fun of conservatives in a sense on that Comedy Central show. He was playing one and he was saying the most outrageous things, you know. But it was cool with conservatives because we do have a sense of humor. The Democrats, and they're really pretty much non-existent, they've been pushed aside by the progressives, socialist, and worse. They don't have a sense of humor at all. They don't have a sense of humor at all. But Stephen Colbert was extremely funny when he did the conservative character on Comedy Central, as is what's his name? He's still funny sometimes, Jon Stewart. But Trump derangement syndrome just enveloped Stephen Colbert. He needs to be let go like yesterday. You don't want him on until May. Why would you do that to yourselves? Why would you do that to yourselves? And you know, when they make the decision for the company that I don't care if my ratings now suck, I'm going to speak my mind and do the show the way I want to, with you who are paying me $15 million a year, having no input. Now, goodbye to Jimmy Fallon. Nice guy. I don't know if he deserved to be called a moron by President Trump. I don't know what he heard him say. Fallon doesn't get that political, you know. He does more innocent jokes. So I was surprised to hear that. Hello, Katina Swatsworth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How you doing, Katina Swatsworth? I only watched David. David Letterman. Okay, I'm glad I should have known that right away. Yeah. Even went to see him in the freezing Ed Sullivan Theater. Everybody said that. Everybody said that. We were in the lobby, my second wife and I never told this story, but we went to New York City very early in the morning this day to try to get on camera. She was in her full clown costume. So our first destination is, and we're walking from like Port Authority all the way to Rockefeller Center. And we want to be in the crowd, you know, and oh no, they're prepared for that. There's the ushers come up and say, well, you know, we have a no costume policy except on Halloween. Then you can come, but we don't allow costumes any other time. She was a beautiful clown, so it would have looked great, but no, they wouldn't allow that. So then we go down to ABC, which is down in the Broadway area, and the crowd is out there, a much smaller crowd, but a crowd. And we hear the producer say to the cameraman, "Don't get the clown. Don't get the clown." All right. So we didn't try CBS. Time is running out at this point, you know, the morning shows. So we go to the little park that's by where the Ticketron is for the discount Broadway tickets, and the kids are all coming around, and she's got the balloons and stuff. And now we see the police in the background, and they don't mind that she's twisting balloons, but if they start to see money, oh, you don't have a license for that. You don't have a license. So the first time someone with no request from us gave her money, they swooped in and said, "Oh no, you have to go get a license for that." We're not saying this isn't nice, but you got to get a license for that. So then we got kicked out of there, and we eventually ended up walking up to the David Letterman studios. And I don't think they were taping that day, but they were open, and information on tickets for other shows, and so we were there. But of course, we weren't going to get on. So that's a day in New York with my clown second wife, and it was it was tough. But everywhere she went, the kids were happy. And going down 42nd Street again, the cops were looking. Oh, you getting money for this? You getting money for this? Everybody wanted a balloon and what have you. And she also gave out something like sweet tarts, Smarties. Everybody knows Smarties. You're a Smartie, right, Richard Lyon? And you're also a very generous man. Thank you very much, Richard, for hitting the thanks button for 11.11. Thank you, Richard, very, very much for hitting the thanks button, as you often do for 1111. And Sammy hit it again for 99 cents. That's fine. Imagine if everybody gave 99 cents or $1.99 or something like that. That'd be cool. But thank you so much. That'll help me out as we get ready for August and all that could bring. I have no idea. I remember Macho Man Randy Savage. He would say, "Oh yeah." I liked how he would say that. I can imitate him pretty good. Well, put that on a file and send it in the email there, Elaine Peterson. Macho Man Randy Savage did the Slim Jim commercials. Okay. Snap into a Slim Jim. Andy likes the Slim Jims. They have a diet version now. Oh, yeah, it's Randy Savage. My bad. Okay. I don't know. Celebrities are dropping like flies suddenly. Quite a few. So let's see if I missed anybody. I think we're up to snuff. Not that I use snuff. No chewing tobacco for me. So thank you, Richard Lyon, once again. Good night to all, Mr. Jack. Talk soon. Thank you, Richard, from West Palm Beach, Florida. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Yeah, so let's see here. Looking at my tabs. Thank you, Jody Smith. 101, huh? Making me think of CBS FM 101.1 WCBS FM. Todd Bradshaw, I see you watch Golden Girls too, Jack. I do. Did I say something that was a catchphrase from them? I don't, but those boys next door, that couple next door, they definitely watch the Golden Girls and all those Hallmark movies. They're watching those Christmas movies. Let me have some ice water. Yeah, baby. Sorry, but my nose does get itchy when I come on, and I'm not lying. It gets itchy. So what about the Golden Girls? Did I remind you of? I certainly did watch a little bit of them back in the day, but not too much. I watched much more Maude than I ever did Golden Girls back in the day. Back in the The day? What's the funniest line from Maude with the late great Bill Macy, right? Not William H. Macy. That's why he had to be William H. Macy, because there was already a Bill Macy, which was Maude's husband. Am I getting that right? I think I'm getting that right. That's why he became William H. Macy. Maude was chastising her husband. What was the character's name? Um, oh, thank you for being a friend. They used the Andrew Gold song, did they? The late Andrew Gold, yeah. Okay. I guess I do remember that now. I do remember it. I do remember it. I still have something in me noggin. But she was, being real bossy to him and stuff like that. And Todd? What was the husband's name on Maud? Like you would know. You may know, but why would I expect you're a little younger than me? Oh, geez. It's been so long since I've seen this show. Oh, here goes Princess Tiffany. God knows we're going into a realm that is somewhere near the Twilight Zone. But anyway, she was being real bossy to her husband, and he said, "But Maude, last night you said, I want you to own me. I'm your possession. I'll do anything you want me to do. I belong to you." And she looked at him dead in the eye and said, "Yes, but I've never said that standing up." Oh, I love that. I love that. I still remember that. That gave me a belly laugh, I'll tell you what. That submissive stuff don't always work when you're standing up. Yeah, baby. Oh, Tiffany Kennedy Calhoun. Oh, and there's more names. Princess. I don't want to block you, so chill. Oh God, it's not going to help, is it? we're now into my dad, King Vice President John Kennedy. Princess Tiffany, you need some help. We all do. We're all, a little bit. There's bats in all of our belfries, but you got a double portion, and you don't want to live like that. So you should, you should talk to somebody about that. It's called vain imaginings in the Bible. Vain imaginings. But get yourself talk to somebody. You have health insurance, right? Talk to somebody and get some help, because you need some. We all do, though. We all do. Not looking down on you. I'm just saying, just to come on spouting wild stuff. You're starting to sound like Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris. Did anyone watch the new Happy Gilmore? I never watched the first Happy Gilmore. Was Happy really happy? Who's the star of Happy Gilmore? Help me. I don't remember because it escaped me. You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to that new sitcom with Michael Richards and Roseanne Barr, a politically not correct sitcom. I'm looking forward to that a lot. Adam Sandler was the star. This isn't the one where he gets punched in the face by Bob Barker, right? That's not that one. Was that Caddyshack, or I'm not sure, but that was very funny. Adam Sandler got punched out by aged Bob Barker. Adam Sandler, love him, love him, love him. I'm sure he's liberal and everything, but I loved his work. I loved his work. Some of it, not all of it. The original is a classic, and the sequel was amazing. They've already done the sequel? Huh. I didn't know. I didn't know. So I saw, let's see here, Jody Smith. Jack, do you think the devil is masquerading as good, as a good entity? That's why a lot of good celebrities are dropping like flies recently. No, because I think God controls everybody's next heartbeat, so he doesn't have permission to do that. Um, so I would say I would say no. So I don't think you're going to be stopping your 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 off the wall comments, Princess Tiffany, are you? You're not going to be doing that, and you're not certainly going to listen to anything I say. But I love you and God bless you. God heal you and bless you. Happy Gilmore 2 released yesterday on Netflix. I already got Paramount Plus / Showtime because I had to get that from a Dexter. Had to get that, and Karen had to see the Gilded Age, and had to see And Just Like That, which is the latest Sex in the City. Well, I hear that John Corbett, who did all three Big Fat Greek Weddings, is a wonderful guy, country singer too, a little bit, and has played some great other roles, done a lot of things. He came on. I never understood Sarah Jessica Parker as this goddess. I never did. Well, the blonde who doesn't do the remakes, the spin-offs, whatever. She was the prettiest woman, Samantha, I thought. I never saw any depth in the character of that Sarah played. And I've seen other things she was good in Failure to Launch. I'll say something good about her so Matthew Broderick doesn't come and punch me in the face. And I love you, Matthew. I love you. You a lot of movies for you. But she's every great looking guy in the world has to have Sarah Jessica Parker and her 400 pairs of expensive shoes. Never got that. Never saw it. Never got it. No. But anyway, in this season, Karen told me about this. I saw a little bit just to see John Corbett, and he was great and happy. But then the story turned, and all of a sudden he's this big jerk, and people don't like him anymore. If I were John Corbett, listen to me, John, I would have read that script in advance before I signed, and I would have said, I don't want to do this. It's not good for my image to be to become the villain in this kind of way. Now, if I'm a serial killer or something, they know I'm just acting then. But in this kind of way, people could confuse the two and not like me because I was this or that to Samantha. So I would say, no, I don't want it. Sorry, I'm turning it down. He turned down the TV show to Greek Fat Wedding. They did one, only lasted about 7 episodes. It was the right choice to turn it down, but Nina was in it and just about everybody. And I'm sure they were very disappointed in John Corbett for not doing it. But at that point, he said, I have become an established movie star. I'm not going to do a bad sitcom. And it was the right call. It was the right call. So I won't be seeing any more of Sex in the City. But Cynthia Nixon, who's in the reboot, and Just Like That, in other words, and Just Like That, you're an old woman or an old man. Here we are. Just Like That. Cynthia Nixon's in that, of course, and she's also the star of The Gilded Age, which is much better product. It's like 1 minute you're doing some kind of ABC sitcom, and then you get a movie that's going to win you an Oscar or something. But in terms of Netflix, I can't pay for Netflix. We're already paying for 2 things. And, it's not in our budget. It's not in our budget. And there's only so much time in the day. I can't be watching TV all the time, I watch less Fox than I used to. It's not imperative that I see Mark Levin now, although I do. I'll watch probably tomorrow night. Didn't watch tonight. We were watching Dark Shadows. But last night, Tessie, I was watching Showtime. Paramount bought Showtime. So you get Paramount, you get Showtime too. And only for 99 cents a month for the first 2 months. And I watched the fourth episode of Dexter. I've seen all four, of course, and the first three I've seen at least twice, and I'm sure I'll see the fourth one again probably tomorrow night. I'll see it again. And it was like a gala event for serial killers, a little bit of a stretch, but one of the serial killers that was coming, to this like-minded event. I always forget the midget guy's name who was in. We did this last week. Somebody told me his name, and I've forgotten it again. Didn't write it down. But he's the rich host. He's not a serial killer himself, but he's the rich host that invites all these serial killers. And Dexter is one of them. They think he's another guy than he actually really is. They don't know he's the Bay Harbor Butcher. So anyway, one of the serial killers that comes is Neil Patrick Harris. He didn't bring any Rise mushroom coffee or anything like that. He had on a fluffy wig. And well, let's just say it doesn't go well for him at the end of the episode. He won't be on next week. Do you know what I mean? Neil Patrick Harris had one shot at a Dexter episode. Uma Thurman is on the show, and the wonderful actor who plays the captain from the original series. His wife was the captain, and she was murdered by Deb, Dexter's stepsister. But it was a wonderful, my least favorite of the four, but still, and the last bit sets up a really good episode 5. That's all I can say about that. But I was in Dexter heaven yesterday. Love my Dexter. Yes, Jody, like Diddy? ? Yuck. Man's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. Job 14:5. Well, that's for sure. God determines our next breath. Can God change his mind and extend? I believe the answer is yes. I always heard from preachers growing up, well, God can't go against his own word. He can't go back on his promises. Oh, he can't change his mind? That's not really what he told Moses. Moses was trying to calm God down. And in the end, God told Moses, look, I'll have mercy on who I want to have mercy on. And he sent a flood. He sent the flood that Moses tried to talk him out of. So, but Moses trying to calm God down, those are interesting verses right there. You're watching the new Dexter, Melissa? Yeah? I'm glad to hear it. Oh, man. I never knew they were going to shoot in New York City. I never knew that till Uma Thurman came on Jimmy Fallon and said, well, I guess words got out. Dexter's shooting in New York. She's on the new Dexter. And I guess she's a serial killer. And we'll see what happens with her. But I don't know if it's 10 episodes or 13 or 14. I'm hoping it's more than 10, but you never know. Could be only 10. And I think one thing we can say for sure, Dexter will not be killed at the end of episode 10 this time, because Showtime almost got burned down for killing him the last time. So I think now they know that this is going to go on for a while. Michael C. Hall he realizes this is it for him, I mean, not that he couldn't find something after Dexter as he gets older and looks different and what have you. But He is fortunate to have such an iconic role to play. He only kills the baddies. He only kills the baddies. Well, I'm going to say good night. Good night, Miss Katina. God bless everyone. Sweet dreams. Someone from the church send an email. Give us a new church update. Yes, please do. I want to know, are they doing anything about an overflow room? What's the holdup now with the new sanctuary? Give me the inside skinny. They won't want to do that. Good night, Katina. Steven Spielich joins us. Howdy, Jack. How you doing? Well, I'm doing pretty well. Blue Sky Suns. Cable TV is a ripoff. Well, which cable do you have? We only have Spectrum for the Wi-Fi, for the internet. We have Sling. It's all right, pretty good. And then we have Prime Video because we have Amazon Prime. So, that's free. Well, it's not free. Why do I say it's free? Amazon Prime is free with delivery. There is a charge for Prime Video. So we have that. And, of course, that leads into you get Tubi and Pluto and other things. And but there are a few things. Now that we have Paramount, we get the CBS, all the CBS stuff. Tons of answers, too many questions. People have rest in Job 14, one of my favorite chapters. Well, I'll read Job 14 tonight then. Okay. Job 14. People have prayed, Todd, Lord, please don't trust me as much as you trusted Job. Please don't. Please don't. Elaine has Amazon Prime. Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. That's where we watch Dark Shadows from there. I had Comcast, a nightmare. They have got to make some decisions about the people they are supporting and get rid of them, I mean, it's just crazy to me that you would allow Colbert to come on and mock every night. First, he was a so-called gentleman and thanked them for giving him the chair and said they always treated him well. And then the next night, he was just pure venom. It's like Trump didn't even intentionally set these traps, but they fell right into them. They got the progressives to come against electric cars and everything else. It's so weird. Teresa Lee Leonard joins us. Hi, Teresa Lee Leonard. Welcome. Jack, I have Prime and other apps, a lot less than Xfinity and all that jazz. Like Sling. I mean, we're okay with it. It's not that expensive. I think Melissa's going to give us some backdoor information. I'm not sure I want to read that. It's a joke with cable, all these a la carte streaming services. Yeah. So most of them we don't subscribe to, and you don't have to keep them once she's done with the Gilded Age and what have you. If there's not something that we just must see on HBO Max, we'll let it go for a while and bring it back later. And Paramount / Showtime. Well, that's got Bar Rescue, which is a fun show, and other things. They do seem to have. We saw Baby Girl finally with Nicole Kidman. That was wild. It's funny, after I watched Dexter last night, I was watching, ended about midnight or so, and it dovetailed right into Batman Forever with Val Kilmer as Batman. Believe it or not, this is my favorite one. I didn't watch too much, though, of the other guys, so I can't really make a judgment. I saw a little bit of Danny DeVito as the Penguin and all that. Um, and I know that, there was Clooney and there was, what's his name, Mr. White Noise guy, Michael Keaton, and many others, and many others. Good night, Teresa. Happy birthday again, if you're really leaving. Thank you, Jack. I have been here, but you didn't see me. See, it's hard. It goes by kind of fast. Only 57 watching, 36 likes. Please hit the like button and the notification bell. If you can hit the thanks button for a few bucks or 99 cents or whatever, that would be greatly appreciated. Better yet, the Cash App, which is lowercase letters. You have to get that from the Google App Store. The Cash App, green with a $sign, is the app. Link your checking account to it, and then you can use it for so many things, including paying bills, receiving money yourself. And my Cash App handle is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY. The number is 56. Jack, I was also thinking, could false apostles also be going around to explain why all these good celebrities are dropping like flies? Well, when you say good, no one is good except apart from the Holy Spirit that dwells in them. So you have to think of it that way. Again, everybody has an expiration date, and that's determined by God. But obviously, there's so many things we don't understand. Just last weekend, right? Was she 9 or 13? The girl living in Canada, and has a custodial visit from her father, and to take her to America. This would not have sat well with me if I was the mother, But you have to do what the courts say too. And next thing, he's in Lake George. I've been to Lake George and reporting her missing. And before you know it, they found her dead body, and the father did it, it appears. Explain that. No, I would have sent an angel down right away and disemboweled him. I would have disemboweled him. But nobody asked me, So there's just things I don't understand. And that's just the way it is. But I'll go to my grave believing in Jesus. And I don't have a bunch of questions to ask him when I get there. I just have a whole bunch of gratefulness for letting a sinner like me in. Yes, Val Kilmer was great. A little young, but he certainly looked like a cool Bruce Wayne. We pulled Top Gun out from our video library last night. Still good. Well, see, you like that kind of Tom Cruise, Robin. I'm more into the Tom Cruise that would do Eyes Wide Shut. That's terrible to admit that. I would like his non-action films with very little CGI. I'm just not a CGI fan. I'm just not. I know he does his own stunts, and that scares the hell out of me too. I don't want to see him die, because he needs to know the Lord first to make sure he's disavowed that Christian Scientology. Little Dixie Diggers, I just subscribed to your channel. Well, thank you very much, Little Dixie Diggers. Obviously, you're from Trenton, New Jersey, with a name like Dixie Diggers. I will be 58 in October. You're a young lady. Been a believer for all these years. I'm so glad that Bob Joyce is with us today. Love your channel, Jack. Well, thank you, Little Dixie Diggers, wherever you may hang your bonnet. Thank you for saying that. I am a sinner saved by grace, says Elaine Peterson. Thank you, Jesus, for saving me. I love you so much. It's a good word. I found out the other day that 1/3 of angels went with the enemy. So 1/3 cut. I need to read the entire Bible. Can't go wrong doing that. Moses told God to repent. Sort of. Yeah. That didn't work out well, though. Val Kilmer was good in Rio Genius and Top Secret. I didn't see either one of them. He was a pretty good Jim Morrison, I thought. He was a pretty good Jim Morrison with what's her name? Harry Met Sally, her. I have those two on VHS cassettes or classics. I don't know. One of the two. Jack, do you have a favorite movie? Boy, narrow it down to one, right? That's tough. That's tough. To narrow it down to one. I'll have to think about that one. I mean, I can name off favorite movies real easy, and some of them are with Tom Hanks. And I never knew at the time when I was going to see Tom Hanks and spending my money that he would hate me and my political beliefs and, in my opinion, be for people that want to destroy America. I never knew that about him. So he's got probably some new projects. I don't think I'll be interested in watching them. I said I'd never go into Target again, and I have kept that promise. I have kept that promise. Exodus 32, 11, 14, huh? You can say it if you want to. You can write it. Medicare Advantage is great. I pay copays, no RX fees. Well, yeah, it's good for that. That's right. They do. It's pretty good for the drugs, isn't it? Yeah, they wouldn't cover my Camzyos, though, if I was on that. That would have been another problem. So glad we didn't get that. But, of course, I've got a cap. So then they gave me an extra. The Camzyos people, I guess Bristol Myers Squibb, gave me an extra $15,000. And I thought, well, I'm set for a while now. Then I thought, not too long. That's an extra bottle and 3/4 of another bottle because it's over 9,000 a bottle. So I don't have to worry now until the third week in September, which is not that far away. We'll see what happens then. I got to do my part. I got to let them know I'm grateful that they did that and offer them perhaps a spot right here on the live stream and maybe a recorded video too. Jack, what is your favorite Christian song? Hunger for Holiness by Carmen, I think, is the one. I wish I could just go to Spotify and play it for you right now. It tells the story about a man who sets out to live for the Lord, and Satan sets out to destroy everything he tries to do. You know, that our enemy, he looks for the slightest hint of blood, and he comes in with a knife. Let me see here if I can find that. Just a little bit. I can't play a song. They'll cut it. But He Covers Me by Steve Camp is another great one. These lyrics are so great. I want to tell you them all, but I think that could be a problem if I do that. There's a silent war that's raging deep within me. My lower nature fights to dominate. My spirit man is poised and locked in battle. With the carnal side of me, I've grown to hate. I'm going to skip down. Lord, I hunger for your holiness, and I thirst for the righteousness that's yours, that my mind would be cleansed and my spirit renewed. And this temple that you dwell in would be pure. I don't think I can get away with much more of those lyrics. Check them out. Check the song out by Carmen, Hunger for Holiness. That's my favorite song. Oh, dear. So we have 59 watching and 41 likes. Please hit the like button. Please the notification bell. Little Dixie Diggers, I metal detect, and back in the Civil War times, there were some cities in Missouri that fought for the South. They call these cities Little Dixie. I gotcha. Jack, untie my bow. Untie my bow tie. Who stole my Honda stuff? Yes, Carmen talked about that. Who stole my Honda, right? There's a Carmen line to remember. Yeah, what song was that? Where he's talking about how people sometimes, or how it sounds to people, that people are faking speaking in tongues, and you know, I'm not going to say I ever heard a preacher that I was pretty sure was saying that Paul away. Oops, a little slip of the tongue, but but you know, there's a lot of wackies out there. There's a lot of wackies, but when it's real, you know it. When it's real, you know it. Um, Revival in the land. Yes. Oh God. See, I worked for 11 years at Sound of Life. Do you know how many times I played these songs? Because this is what part of my shift on Saturday, the very first hour, was the request hour. And I would do it with the morning guy, whoever was doing mornings. At first, it was Joe Hunter, because he was weekends, and then he would become the regular morning man. Shall I tell the Joe story? The worst thing that could happen to you? Well, not the worst thing that could happen to you on Christian radio. Well, he's not going to be watching, and it's something that could have happened on a really, really, really bad day to any of us. But this was by the time Sound of Life had gone to all computers, and he had done his rap. Joe was a wonderful, wonderful guy, still is. I think he's still on there. But he was on, in the morning, pretty large listenership, 14 stations, and he's got the mouse going, and he's trying to get to the computer to the next thing, and he thinks he's potted his mic down, but he hasn't. Poor Joe. And he said on Christian radio, oh, the F word. They suspended him for 2 weeks. But they kept him on because they knew he was beloved, and that kind of thing could happen. But it wouldn't happen to me because I had a thing about being in the studio, and certainly when there could be any chance, if I'm not hearing music or commercials coming through those speakers, I know my mic is hot. So even if I potted it down, I wouldn't take the chance. So that was my rule. When I got to my first station, WBUZ, the sound of the country, in 1977, the program director there was a wonderful guy by the name of Mike Miller. Came like a mentor to me because he was Captain Smooth, and there was a very funny morning man named Nick Syracuse, another great guy. And then on the weekends and other times, Bob Diamond, very good young kid, and what have you. Wouldn't it be funny if one of them was watching? One of them would have questions for me. I know that. But um, Mike would be fighting while the record was playing with the owner, who was also the host of What's Your Opinion, Hammer and Hank's session polka party on Saturday mornings. He would have to engineer that. He'd be shutting records off on the air. Hank would dress like Herb from WKRP in Cincinnati. Good looking man. Now starting to get a little older, but he looked great in his 50s. And he'd wear purple polyester pants, a white belt, a loud jacket, a big tie, a yellow shirt. It was just wild. And he wanted things the way he wanted. And Mike and him are going back at it. And he'd be screaming, "But Hank, you don't know what you're talking about." The song would end and he'd just swivel his chair around and say, "Well, that was Waylon Jennings at the Sound of the Country, WBUZ 15-7. Mike Miller here on a Tuesday afternoon. So nice to have you aboard. Here's Loretta Lynn." And then he'd go back. He'd swivel around. The mic is off. And he'd be screaming. I just thought it was the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing to see. Good night, Tessie. Tessie J. I'm glad you stopped by. I really am. Thank you. And Shania Jebediah should have brought a Honda. Who stole my Honda? I have a Honda, so I don't want it stolen. But yeah, I was a huge Carmen fan. So there you go. 64 watching right now. We don't see Chris Starry here. Please keep her in prayer. Those who do pray, the Lord Jesus is your personal Savior. And Brenda Noyce, obviously, still got those kidney stones rolling around in her body. And Marianne Rossi and Ted Richards and Adam Davidson, Katrisa, the daughter of Katina, and her father, who's had breathing problems. That happens to all of us as we get older. And just looking at all the comments. Yeah, I remember that, Todd Bradshaw, that song that you're talking about, how people would fake speaking in tongues, which is insanity. Just ask Sean Hannity. No, he wouldn't know about that. But, absolute insanity. It's just like, becoming a crooked pastor. Go sell used cars or something. Don't do it in the name of God. Oh, boy. I'd be the first to say that I'm a miserable sinner, hopefully saved by grace under the blood of Christ. But I have a responsibility to do better, which means it's not going to be my power that's ever going to create change in my life, but it's submitting to the will and direction and power of the Holy Spirit. That's what I believe. So that was Job 34, was it? As I recall. This could get tough. Yes, Lord, don't trust me as much as you trusted Job, please. Got to remember where Job is. I got to remember, I think I'm too far up here. Like I've never read from Lamentations or Ezekiel. Yeah, it's yeah, okay. Hi, Jane Justice. Welcome. What's going on with you, Jane Justice? I'm glad you're here. Job 14. Is that what it is, Todd? I knew it had a 4 in it. Job 14. from the NIV. Of course, it's big print edition. That goes without saying at this juncture, even with the readers on. Okay. You didn't specify verses, so we'll do the whole thing. Job 14. Man born of woman is of few days and full of trouble. He springs up like a flower and withers away. Like a fleeting shadow, he does not endure. Do you fix your eye on such a one? Will you bring him before you for judgment? Who can bring what is pure from the impure? No one. Man's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. So look away from him and let him alone till he has put in his time like a hired man. At least there is hope for a tree. If it is cut down, it will sprout again, and its new shoots will not fail. Its roots may grow old in the ground, and its stump die in the soil. Yet, at the scent of water, it will bud and put forth shoots like a plant. But man dies and is laid low. He breathes his last and is no more. As water disappears from the sea, or a riverbed becomes parched and dry, so man lies down and does not rise. Till the heavens are no more, men will not awake or be roused from their sleep. If only you would hide me in the grave and conceal me till your anger has passed. If only you would set me a time and then remember me. If a man dies, will he live again? All the days of my hard service, I will wait for my renewal to come. You will come, and I will answer you. You will long for the creature your hands have made. Surely then you will count my steps, but not keep track of my sin. My offenses will be sealed up in a bag. You will cover over my sin. Do I hear an amen? But as the mountain erodes and crumbles, and as the rock is removed from its place, as water wears away stones and torrents wash away the soil, so you destroy man's hope. You overpower him once and for all, and he is gone. You change his countenance and send him away. If his sons are honored, he does not know it. If they are brought low, he does not see it. He feels but the pain of his own body. He feels but the pain of his own body and mourns only for himself. That's Job 14. Thank you, Todd. That's powerful. That is powerful. Wrapping up on this Saturday night, a little past midnight. 61 watching now. Get your last comments in. Jack, like these pastors that live in a multi-million-dollar mansion and drive a Mercedes, It's not a good witness, I don't think. Amen, Jack. Thank you for reading it. Sure. What a privilege. I learned something there too. When Jesus was being crucified and beaten, it brings me to tears how he suffered for us. It always makes me appreciate how our Jesus truly loves us. Amen and amen. Jane Justice, blessings to all of you, special friends. Take care in this heat. Yeah, heat envelops the country. Jesus, watch over us and keep us safe from evil. Thank you, Lord. I miss Carmen, says Carla. Me too. Got to meet him backstage at Nassau Coliseum with my young kids. Wonderful man. That's when I was working at the Christian radio station. And thank you, Jackie Organ, for stopping by. And Todd Bradshaw, as I look at my email, thank you for hitting the Cash App as you do just about every time. You and Elaine are at the top, and there's the two names together, Todd Bradshaw and Elaine Peterson. Thank you, Elaine, and thank you, Todd Bradshaw. Appreciate that very, very much. That helps me as we go into what could be a wild month with everything from I don't have Easy Pass because normally I don't need it. I don't mind paying the toll, but tolls will be big in August. They'll come due in September, but they'll be being used in August more than ever, as I'll be going back and forth a lot, and it's only about an hour drive. It's not bad. You want to try to hit the traffic right. You're going to be driving in a lot of traffic sometimes. So thank you, Todd. Thank you, Elaine, on the Cash App. And thank you for everyone who hit the thanks button here. I appreciate that very much. And you can still do that after the show is over in the replay. Hello, replay crowd. I appreciate those that hit it in the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, there you go. Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday night. Our last one for this month of July. We'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll do another rendition of Worldwide Ramblings if the Lord is willing. And yeah, it's hot out there. I'm not complaining. But, there are those that don't have air conditioning, and that's a rough road. And, of course, the utilities go up and what have you, just like they do in the winter with the heat. That's the way it goes. So thanks, everybody, for joining me this Saturday night. Thank you for those who hold me up. Thank you for those that hold me up with your views and your likes and, just being here when we're either with you live or pre-recorded. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful Sunday. God bless. Bye-bye.